Hello, everyone. I'm back again. My name is Toby, and most people call me Captain. I'm Toby or Captain. I'm back on the episode of the book that I've just finished writing and working on the volume two, Courtship in the Right Way. Another chapter that I mentioned in the book is during courtship, it's good to seek advice. That chapter is about seeking advice. So it's very important during the relationship, during courtship, for both parties to seek advice. And the advice is so vast, it could be on so many things. The first bit of the advice is it could be from the community of your family or it could be from the church. And the kind of advice that is going to help for both parties to date in the right way is from people that have the experience. And I really mind that when you're seeking advice, it's not necessarily that you have to take to all the advice, but those people you're seeking advice from, the foundation is for you to know that yes, they are Christian, they're good people, they are people that can be like a mentor, or people that you see that positive things you're trying to achieve in their life. So it has to be from people that have the experience. For instance, people that have been married for years in a Christian way, how have they sustained their marriage? So those are the kind of people you want to seek advice from. Mainly, sometimes it could be people that are not married. Some people are blessed with knowledge, but they have the experience as well. But majorly, it should be from people that are married or from church or from parents. So during courtship, it is very important to seek advice. And like I said earlier on, this advice could be for probably how the married people have sustained their marriage for that long period of time, or what is the secret behind their marriage. Those are the kind of advice you want to be seeking. And no matter how intelligent both parties are, no matter the amount of book you read, you still need some people to talk you through what might happen during marriage or base the advice on their own experience. So, as a partner, during courtship, you might actually ask them things like when they start having children, how were they able to sustain it? Raising the kids is another work on its own. Not until things start to happen that you realize that, wow, yeah, I really want to have children, but raising them is another challenge. It's just like when you save to buy a car. Yeah, it's quite easy to save to buy a car, but the maintenance of the car is another phase entirely because there will be some unforeseen circumstances that will happen and you'll be like, I didn't expect this. So in a situation when you are going through the courtship, you can seek advice on parenting, how to raise up kids, and probably in terms of a number of children they're supposed to have. That okay, you've got 3 or 4 kids. How did you manage to do it? Who takes them to school? How do you do all the tasks at home? Or maybe even when you're married and the wife is pregnant, sometimes it depends on the individual, the mood can change. So this is the kind of advice you want to be asking people that are married. Okay, when your wife got pregnant, how have you been? How did you supported her? Or when your wife is having the babies, what are the things you are doing to make things run smoothly? So these are the kind of questions or advice the people that are dating to ask the married ones. And even when they have the children, it might not necessarily be like this big advice. It could be like a talk that okay, when the kids were going to school when they were young, probably going to nursery, was the wife having a full-time job? Those are the things you need to find out from people that are married, that they should just advise you probably the way it has worked for them, how can it work for you as well? Another thing is during courtship, when you seek advice, it could be the kind of time you do your kind of task. Probably one person have to leave his work and then go to a full-time housewife, or it could be the other way. So all this kind of advice is what is going to help you to have a good marriage. So apart from seeking advice from people that have married, that have passed through that route, you can even seek advice from professionals, people that advise. It could be from church as well, people that can advise you on how to manage each other when the kids start coming, and even before the kids, even the marriage. I've seen a lot of people. I mean, a lot, because my wife is an event planner, and she's done a lot of weddings, and she normally advises the couple that your wedding is just a day, but marriage is a lifetime. So when it comes to managing your expenses for your wedding as well, that is another way of seeking advice during courtship. That okay, we've decided to marry each other, and this is the amount we set aside to plan our wedding. So those are the kind of advice as well, because some people go as far as maybe collecting loan to get married, and after the marriage, they everybody nobody go out there, or nobody sets the plan to fail. Nobody, any normal human being, will not want to wake up one day and say, okay, the plan I have, I hope it's going to fail. Nobody sets out to be a failure. So you've planned yourself that okay, we're going to collect this loan to get married, and because we have this kind of a job, things changes. It's possible to be struggling to pay the loan. So those kind of advice is necessary. That is it important that we have to go and collect loan to get married, even if it's just few people that can gather around to celebrate you for your wedding. That's my own opinion. You don't need to go out of your way to probably do an elaborated wedding that you break the bank, or break your savings, because you have to think of the future. So those are the kind of advice. Yeah, the partner might want to do a very big wedding. You know within you that you have the capacity to do such uh, elaborate wedding, but in a situation where you don't have that kind of cash to do such wedding, you don't have to, because going into a marriage should be a thing of joy. You shouldn't be only under pressure, especially financial pressure, because financial uh, issue is one of the things that affect marriage. So you need to plan for the future as well, and you need to seek advice, a genuine advice. That okay, this is how much we plan for our wedding, and this is what we're spending. And there's no you don't need to make people happy from your own inconvenience. So that is part of the advice that is important to ask during courtship. So we've talked about raising up the kids. We talk about planning for the wedding, that you should spend what you can afford. Another area of advice is building your home. This could be maybe your career. You're an IT person. You need to be able to find out that when you're married, what could be the implication of my job in my marriage, because it can be a very tough one to balance your career with your marriage. At the moment you're caught, you're kind of in a relationship, you're cutting. So everybody stay differently. But in a situation when you start to live together after your wedding, it's a different ball game. So career wise as well, it's good to seek advice. Okay, I'm a doctor and my wife is a nurse. It means both of you, it's a very busy career. So those are the kind of area You might want to speak with someone in that career, how they've managed to survive happily when they get married. Or it could be any other career. Probably you're the type that comes home just for weekend. Well, it's still courtship you see once in a while. But in a situation when you're married, that the husband have to be away from Monday to Friday and only come back during the weekend, those are the areas you need to seek advice in that your area of career. I'm talking to both the man and the woman now, both the male and the female, that your career as well, you need to see the future of how this will affect your marriage. These are the importance of courtship. These are the things your eyes needs to be open to before you say I do. Career do affect marriage. You just have to know how to manage it. A good example is I've got some few friends in Canada, some of them in America. When they left the military, we were both in the military together. Some of them went into a truck driver. So when they go into the truck driver, it's a different thing. Most of them, a week or 2 weeks, they might not come home. And that must start to tell on the wife. If you've got children, that must start to tell on the children as well. Maybe in the future, changing career might be possible to do those kind of a truck driver. Probably your kids are old. But at the tender age of your marriage, probably when you're courting and then you now get married, the first job that comes to the guy's mind or the lady's mind is being a truck driver. It's going to be very, very challenging because you're not going to see each other often. And at the beginning of a marriage, there has to be that close intimacy. You're two different people coming from two different backgrounds. You need to live together to understand each other. You don't want to start your marriage with a career that will take you away and you only see each other over the weekend. It might not really work at the beginning of a marriage. So you need to consider the kind of career, probably the one you're doing at the moment, or the career you are thinking of doing when you get married. Probably you want a more financial income. And if it's a job that's going to take each of you away from one another, it might be a very tough one. So all those things like career can affect marriage as well. So you need to sit down during courtship. That is the advantage of courtship. You know, a lot of people, maybe they met 6 months, they kind of date for a few weeks, and then the next thing they marry. It might work, but to be honest with you, it hardly work. You need to do a courtship in the right way, know one another, before you just jump into marriage or going into getting married. That's still the point. So career as well is important to seek advice from people that have been there before or from professionals that can guide you through. The essence of this is to have a fruitful marriage for seeking advice. Because if you if you date in the right way, which is the title of the book, once again, Courtship in the Right Way. If you do the courtship in the right way, seeking advice will definitely help you to build a solid foundation for your marriage. So this chapter that I talked about, just to summarize everything, during courtship, it is very important to seek advice for so many reasons. It is very, very important to seek advice on different aspects of different types of things that can affect your marriage. So during courtship, you will have realized, and from seeking advice from people that have been there before, or seeking advice from people that are professional, will definitely help you to handle the situation better when the need for it arises. So seeking advice is another chapter that I talked about in courtship in the right way. So I think that is that for today. Seeking advice during courtship is very important, and it will definitely help to have a solid foundation towards your marriage. Thank you for listening, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel. I'm still going to talk about some other important chapters in the courtship in the right way. I've got quite a few of chapters, and I'm still working on the volume 2. In my next episode, we're going to be picking another topic that we're going to interact and talk about together. Thank you for now. Stay blessed. Bye.